Well, that didn't go so well. Time for the next best thing. Oh yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater is back. Late 90s extreme sports nostalgia right in your face with a remake of the first two games. Man, Activision is finally getting things right with their IPs, huh? Many of you probably played the originals back in the day and are probably wondering whether this remake is even worth it. Well, lucky for you, I'm about to drop a review on your heads. So let's shred into this most excellent game. Developed by Vicarious Visions, the same people who remade Crash 1 through 3, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 is exactly what it sounds like, a remake of the first two Pro Skater games. However, it's not exactly a remake per se. Just like Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy, Vicarious Visions added some new features and quality of life enhancements while also keeping the right amount of old stuff to make this game feel just right. This isn't even the first time Activision released a remake of the first two games, by the way. This is actually the second time. Back in 2012, Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD was released for the PS3 and the Xbox 360 to lukewarm reception. Now that was mainly due to the fact that it wasn't a complete remake. It was a strange mashup of levels from the first two games with very few songs kept from the respective soundtracks. To make things worse, local multiplayer was removed for some idiotically stupid reason. And the graphics looked like clay models that were left out in the sun for a little too long. Some of you may be asking, well, why did they make another remake if they already tried it once and it wasn't super successful? Well, my dear viewer, that's because of this catastrophe. Yep, Activision just had to crap out a fifth game in this legacy of amazing titles. This practically killed the franchise with how bad it controlled, all the gameplay and graphical glitches, and its non-existent online mode. Also, no local multiplayer. Again! So, needless to say, this franchise needed some sort of revival. What better way to revive a franchise than to remake and update the far superior originals? I mean, it worked really well for Crash and Spyro. With Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, you get all the levels from the previous two games, remade in true HD glory. These levels look stupid good. I mean, look at Warehouse, the iconic first level from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. See how old and run down it looks? Look at all the gray and the cracks, the broken pipes, the rundown taxi. It's beautiful! How about the hangar? It's so crisp and clean. And look at all the posters from the previous titles. They basically turned it into an homage to Neversoft, and I can't be happier with it. Venice Beach was given beautiful sunset lighting with some water splotches, which makes it look like I can just step right through the TV right into the skate park. Let's not forget the layers of graffiti that litter the walls of this legendary skate park. There's color and creativity covering every nook and cranny of this level. And oh boy, School 2 never looked so good. I never thought I'd love going back to school, but this game proved me wrong. Everything that I remember from the original is still here, but it just looks better. There's actual texture on the walls and concrete. The draw distance is non-existent, something I will never miss from the originals. And of course, the unlockable gym area is right here, right where I left it. There's a lot to admire and look at here. It brings a tear to my eye. And finally, Roswell Area 51. This level is perfect. If I had to imagine how Area 51 would look like as a skate park, this would be it. Everything looks so detailed and futuristic. And hey, they even kept the area where you can see the alien being experimented on. Huh? Sounds like he's trying to say something.
We at Marlon Sage. Green is a pedestrian.
Wow. I love that extra little detail they added right there. Vicarious Visions, you guys are legends. Now the graphics weren't the only noticeable updates. The controls had a major overhaul in comparison with the originals. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 had you skating with some extreme chug. I mean, look at that low frame rate. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 fixed it by refining the engine a bit. However, the controls still felt a bit stiff, and controlling the camera was practically non-existent. For this remake, the controls were made much more fluid and tighter. The camera controls have been tacked on to the right analog stick, making it easier to scope out the areas you would like to skate to. I also really like this special rewind animation they used for whenever you slam onto the ground. Another thing about the controls that I really like is the addition of different play modes. By default, you're going to be playing with modern controls, which work more closely to how Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 did, which allowed you to correct your orientation before making out with the pavement. You're also able to perform reverts and spine transfers for some seriously gnarly tricks, bruh. If these controls are too advanced for you, however, you do have the option to play in classical mode. There's a classic mode for both Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. That way you can limit yourself and play the way God intended. Limited and frustrated. When it comes to the tasks inside the levels, they're all pretty much there. But Vicarious Visions made some welcome adjustments. For those of you who remember the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 game, each level only had 5 tasks to complete, while the sequel had 7. Well, Vicarious Visions decided to up the number of tasks for the first tour of the game, upping them all to 7 to give us a few more things to do. Adding these extra tasks to the first tour of the game actually helps the first half of the game feel like a new experience altogether. The second tour is pretty much exactly what you would expect. One thing that is new for both tours is the addition of the double V icons. These are hidden in difficult to reach areas in every single level. Sadly, I don't think collecting them unlocks anything special. Another little note I want to tack onto this are the changes they made to the crazy taxi drivers. The drivers were given extra and more explicit lines to say whenever they hit you with their cars. Not only that, they also drive a little bit more crazy than before. It makes for a more hilarious experience whenever you're hit by them.
Forget about it! I'm part of that East Coast hardcore real stuff.
There are also little alien plushies hidden in every single level. Collecting every alien plushie rewards you with the Roswell alien skater to play with. I like to call him Bob. This guy looks sick. He uses telekinetic powers and teleportation for some of his tricks, and he's easily my favorite skater in this game. Talking about skaters, the roster of skaters is amazing. You get a good chunk of the original skaters reprising their roles. You have the legendary Tony Hawk, of course. You also have Bob Burnquist, Rodney Mullen, Bucky Lasek, Kareem Campbell, and Elisa Steamer, to name a few. But you also have some new age skaters represented in this game. Nyjah Huston, Riley Hawk, Lizzie Armanto, Letitia Buffoni, Aori Nishimura are just a few of the new skaters represented. It really warms my heart to see old and new school coming together for an amazing skating game like this. It's especially exciting to see some more female skaters being present in the game as well. They're going to inspire many little girls to shred it up once parks reopen. Now, if you thought I was done talking about the characters, you're wrong, because there are other characters to unlock. You got Ripper, a basic skeleton character with big, blue, dreamy eyes. But the only way to unlock him is to buy the digital deluxe edition of the game, which of course, costs extra. So I won't be using him. And then there's Officer Dick. Yep, you guys know that there's always at least one officer to skate with in every Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. Wait though, there's something familiar about this guy. Wait a minute, is that Jack Black? Whoa, they added Jack Black as a secret character. That's freaking badass. There's only one issue though. To unlock him, you're gonna have to complete all the created skater challenges. And there's a lot of those. So yeah, I'm not gonna be completing any of those anytime soon. Sadly though, Spider-Man was not brought over from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. That really sucks because he was such an iconic character. And I would have done some questionable things to get him as a skater. Come on, Activision, you couldn't make a deal with Sony to get him on the PS4 version at least? Oh, Spider-Man, you will be missed. Character creation, on the other hand, feels a little limited. you're given a handful of options for facial features, body types, hair, and voices. I had a hard time creating a character I was happy with. In the end, I had to just settle for something that was okay? I believe more effort could have gone into character creation. The clothing options, however, are much better. There's a literal treasure trove of clothes and skateboard options to choose from. A good chunk of them you have to unlock with in-game currency you get from just playing the game. Wait, there's no option to pay for stuff using real-world money? That's awesome! Screw you greedy game companies, Activision is making some frickin' moves. Now, I'm gonna gush over the clothing options a little more, because a recent update added Crash Bandicoot 4 clothes to the game, and I am in love with them. Look at my custom character Drip with this fresh gear. You also have a crap ton of slots to add special moves for your character as well. So you can go from a 900 to a McTwist to a spine transfer like a true pro. Let's not forget, you also have the option to create and share your own skate park. This is something I've been wanting since the release of Little Big Planet 1. The options are quite vast and you can make some really huge parks. Sadly, I'm not good at making skate parks, but I tried my best. Here's my custom skate park. I call it Trash Town. But luckily for me, there are some really talented people out there, and many of them have already shared their parks. I really like this realistic looking park. It's perfect for pulling off multiple tricks on the line. Then you have this one that kind of makes you feel like you're in a water park. And this ridiculously creative park using a lot of ramps. Now for fans of the soundtrack of the original games, I have some good news, and I have some bad news. About half of the soundtrack is taken directly from the original games. Songs like Superman, When Worlds Collide, New Girl, Pin the Tail on the Donkey, etc. are all here. The rest of the songs, however, are new, more contemporary songs. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. I love the songs from the original games, and I actually like quite a few of the songs from the new song selection too. But there are a few that make me question the musical taste of the developers. I mean, look, I'm a huge fan of Less Than Jake, but why the hell did they choose Bomb Drop when they could have chosen All My Best Friends Are Metalheads, or Last One Out of Liberty City, or even Plastic Cup Politics for this game? I mean, come on! Now, another welcome addition they added to this game was the ability to skip songs while playing. Yep, no need to pause the game or anything. Just click R3 and boom, you skipped Bomb Drop for something better. Not only that, the songs you're listening to will continue playing as you finish the level and go back to the game menu and options. It really helps you enjoy the music a little bit better. And finally, what's a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game without the cheats? That's right, Vicarious Visions actually added a couple of cheats into this remake too. You can make your skater bigger or smaller. You can activate perfect rails and perfect manual. You can even have the super meter permanently full, which is how I actually usually play. Now I know some of you are probably thinking to yourselves, Activision is just reselling us the same old games from before. Is it really that worth it? And to that I say,
Yes! Yes!
trust me, I'm no stranger to the reboot/remake craze that's been going on with the big name studios these days. But when you have remakes like Crash, Spyro, and now Tony Hawk to this level of quality, with some nice little extras and quality of life improvements, and a nice $40 price tag, how can you say no? Especially after a long string of abysmal titles. Oh god, make it go away. Bury that thing, please. This game blew me away with all the care and attention Vicarious Visions gave it. I was engrossed from start to finish. And my fun with this game won't end with the completion of both tours due to all the extra challenges for each skater and the 100 challenges to complete in general. There's just too much to do and so much value packed into two already legendary games. With that said, I do have some nitpicks that I want to throw out there. Remember when I said Tour 2 didn't have much added to it? Well, some stuff was actually taken out. If you replay the first two Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, you would see that there were money icons scattered everywhere in every level. Back then, that's what you used to unlock certain things. That's now been replaced with the point system, which ended up leaving certain areas and levels feeling pretty empty. I feel like Vicarious Visions could have added some new collectible items to make these areas feel more useful. Online mode, on the other hand, feels somewhat limited in the kind of games you can play. I also ran into connection issues with my friends early on, but at least it works better than Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. Then you have the texture loading. When selecting a skater, you usually see their models load fairly fast with that awesome rewind effect, but the textures seem to be taking their sweet ass time. It's kind of jarring to see something like that happen in a modern game, especially with a remake. Now, I played this on my base PS4, but when I played it on my PS4 Pro, the same texture loading issue was still present. So I wonder if the engine just wasn't optimized properly for use on these consoles. And that's it. Those are all the nitpicks I had for this game. I really don't have much negative to say about this game. So much love and care was just crammed into this game, and none of what I mentioned is going to hinder your experience. My advice? Go grab this game if you're even just the slightest bit curious about it. You won't be disappointed. Now, if you excuse me, I'm off to finally pull off the impossible Super McVarial 900, as seen on Rocket Power. Ow, 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 yeah, I guess even in the remake, it's still impossible. And that's all, folks. Thanks for watching, everyone. We really appreciate you coming to our channel and watching our videos. Please let us know in the comments below if you ever played the original games. Are you thinking about picking up the remake of the first two games? Have you played Tony Hawk HD? Or dare I say, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5? Who is your favorite skater, and which is your favorite song from the original soundtracks? A big shout out goes to my friend Lynn, who helped me film some of the segments for this video. If you like this video, please make sure to slap that like button. It helps us out a ton. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our channel so you can stay tuned for more awesome content in the future. I'll see you in the next video.